polite conversation. It's just as important. Our cervical cancer death rate plummeted when Pap smears started getting done. If you catch abnormalities before they even become cancer, you're golden. And there's lots of things that can be done for pre-cancer changes, what we call dysplasia, and you never make a cancer. Don't let this be a taboo topic. Talk to at least your family. And remind everybody that pelvics are important. The Pap test is really just taking cells from the cervix, from the surface of the cervix. So there's a good picture back there, but the cervix looks like a donut. And the birth canal runs through the middle and makes the hole of the donut. And when you do a Pap smear, you want to take from the surface and where it starts to dive into the birth canal. And that's all they're doing down there. You feel a little bit of funny sensation. That's about it. But the funny sensation is the cervix being moved. That's a Pap smear. If you wait until you have symptoms, you're often too late because that area gets cleaned up. The body wants to take away bad stuff. So it's going to try to pick up cancer cells and take them away. It takes them up to pelvic nodes, and then from there it goes into the bloodstream. So you want to catch it before it gets cleaned up. You want to do the cleanup. Okay? 1 in 4 cases of cervical cancer are in women over 65. Women over 65 tend to start not going for their annual exams. Okay? Because they think I haven't had babies in a long time. I don't have any risk factors. I don't want to go. It's hard. According to the American Cancer Society, women should begin Pap smears at age 21 or, it's not up there, within a year of assuming sexual activity. Okay? So if you know people that are confused, help them out. And that's important because your risks for cervical cancer are tied to viral exposures, and it's viruses that we are all exposed to in our life. And you want to catch if that kind of virus exposure is going on so that you can screen for changes in the cervical cells. The vast majority of cervical cancers are tied to viral infections at this point. Beginning at age 30, you have a Pap test every 3 years, or a Pap test and a test for those viruses, the HPV, every 5 years. Women over 65 can stop screening if they've never had any changes in their cells, what are called dysplasia. But women who have had their uterus and cervix out, this recommendation says may stop screening unless surgery was done for cancer treatment. The more conservative guideline is you do it once a year for 3 years, and then you can go to every 3 to 5 years or stop if you have no changes where your scar was put back together. So that's a more conservative guideline. How many people are embarrassed as they gotta go to the doctor? Yeah. How many people had babies? It can't be any worse than having a baby, right? You gotta go through that every month. They're gonna check you out, make sure the baby's okay. Okay? You need to do this for your health. It is no different. Promise, looking at it on the other side, it is no different than any other thing that we do to help you to be healthy. These exams are no fun for you, they're no fun for the doctor. They give really good information, and there's nothing to replace that information. There's no other way to do this. So when you're walking in there, the doctor doesn't think anything worse about doing a pelvic exam than they do doing a breast exam or doing a tummy exam. It's part of keeping you healthy. Please don't let embarrassment keep you from doing that. Cervical cancer, if you catch it before it's even cancer, is even better when it's this dysplasia. But if you catch it early, it's imminently curable. There's nothing that is more curable. Okay? But you have to catch it early. It's caused by a virus most of the time called HPV or human papilloma virus. There's actually not just one virus. There's lots of these HPV viruses. How many people have heard of the vaccine these days? Yay! Get your young people vaccinated. It's already been shown that the risk or that the incidence of cervical cancer has dropped by about 50%, and we haven't had the vaccines around very long. Okay? That vaccine, even though it's not against all of the types of HPV, is against the types that are most likely to cause cancers. That's our best prevention. Don't ever get started on the path to making changes. And you can do that by getting the vaccines for your kids. Okay? But for those of us who didn't have that choice, you want to do your screenings so that you can keep your risk as low as possible. The HPV infection itself doesn't cause symptoms for the vast majority of people. You'll never know that you were exposed. How many people have cold sores? They get stressed, they get a little fever blister. You know what that is? It's HPV. It's not the same kind. There's lots of different kinds of HPV. How many people are embarrassed because they have cold sores? You think most people are? I have people who go, I get stressed, I get a cold sore. You know, same thing. Take care of your health. Look at it the same as anything else that's going on. Okay? If the HPV virus doesn't go away, it lives in the cells and irritates the cells, and that's what makes it cancer. Irritation over time means the cell's constantly trying to heal itself, and when it's constantly trying to heal itself, it can make a mistake. And that can make it go into being a cancer cell. Most often, the precancer cells can turn into cancer if they're not found early and treated. Texas has the highest death rate from cervical cancer. Okay? Why? There's always going to be lots of things playing in. Part of it's economy. Do you go get your routine things? Yeah, money, economy. Part of it is Texas is big. I'm sure that plays into it. The population that Texas has, we have a fair amount of undeclared population, and they are not getting screenings. And the vaccines have not been used in other countries very widely as of yet, and so that's going to play in as well. So, I'm too old to need a Pap test. Again, if you have any changes, you have increased discharge, you have any fullness or discomfort in the belly, if you have even just a little spot of blood when you're postmenopausal, go get checked. So if you choose to stop your screening at 65, pay attention to your body so that you know what's going on and you can make an appointment to get checked out if anything changes.